Hi, I'm Israel, and today I'll be taking you on a little bit of a journey and giving you tips on how to create your own story. I'm a storyteller, and I really think everyone is a storyteller because if something cool happens to you and you want to share it with someone else, pretty much doing a story. So I'm gonna give you like a map and you can follow it. It should make telling a story a little bit easy for you. I do this pretty much in everything I do every day. And to me, a story is communication, right? And the best way I love breaking down a story is to take it in three parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. The beginning is basically the beginning of your story, and that's where you introduce everything, who the story is about, what the world is about, and then the middle is, well, the meat and potatoes of your story, and the end is where the lesson you want to be learned is revealed. However, even though we have these three different blocks to tell our story, I think there are key things that I believe every story has to have. And that's what I'll be going through in the next section. And then every story you tell has to have a protagonist. I mean, that's who the story is about. That's the person that we are going to focus on. It doesn't have to be one person. It could be a group of your friends. It could be a group of superheroes. But usually we need someone to take the audience or the person I'm sharing this story with on this journey. And what you do is you come to the beginning of your story and you introduce this person. This is what this person does. In the story that I'm creating today, we have this character. I'm calling her Rose. I don't know why. So Rose just, has a pretty normal life, has friends, and is just in a workshop trying to express herself. And every good story should have an antagonist, right? So the antagonist is like the opposite of the hero, the obstacle the hero has to face. And here I have this, I don't know, I'm gonna call him Bobby. And Bobby is pretty much a bully and always trying to make life really difficult for Rose. Rose is trying to make the best of her art, but Bobby is always making fun of Rose for her art and her expression of loving her art. And once you've introduced your hero and their antagonist, you want to give an inciting incident. So an inciting incident is something that has to happen that takes this hero on a journey to self-discovery. And the inciting incident in the little story I'm telling today is Rose decides to create an art project to submit for a competition. So Rose has been told there's this great competition and Rose is super excited and wants to create this project for the competition. Of course, there has to be a desire that defines your hero, your protagonist. And the desire kind of has two faces. So we have what they want and what they need. And what they want usually is external, is something that's seen, is something tangible. In Rose's case, she wants to submit this creation, this art project she's going to create to the competition in hopes that she wins. That's what she wants. But as the story unveils, you realize that what they need is just to believe in their capability, to believe in their self. And what they need is usually on the inside. And as you are telling your story, that will be revealed. Once the inciting incident has happened, this is now when the middle part of the story, the meat and potatoes, they have to go on this journey. And then the journey is the path that they take as they're pursuing their goal, right? So we know that Rose wants to create this art project, so she might go to Michael's to get some materials, and she might make space in her basement, or she might get together with her friends. Basically, she's creating these things. And then, of course, the protagonist has to do their thing. That is what leads us to a crisis. And I love this concept because the crisis is where usually is the worst part for the protagonist, right? So in the story, Rose has gotten the work done, created it, and is going to submit it. When she's about to submit it, Bobby comes, rips it apart. And usually this is the part of the story where it seems all hope is lost. The protagonist doesn't know what they want to achieve. Rose has been working on this project with her friends for days and days and days, and now she has come to submit it, and Bobby, being the evil person Bobby is, comes and rips it. And the thing that Rose wants pretty much is torn to shreds, literally in this case. Her hopes is dashed. How is she going to get something to submit in time for this competition? Well, I really love happy endings, and if you can tell your story however you want to tell it. It doesn't have to be a happy ending, but I usually try to make my stories happy endings. I love happy endings. And so what happens usually after the crisis is a climax. This is the final battle between the protagonist and the antagonist. So Rose finally decides, okay, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to tell Bobby, you are not the best person, and what you did is really wrong, and you are trying to thwart my opportunity for this competition because you think I don't have what it takes. And even though Rose has been working on this project with her friend for days, and now she's about to submit and it's been ripped, she digs deep inside herself, and after she has told Bobby that Bobby is not the best person, and Bobby needs to take care of himself and be better and behave better, Rose digs deep, creates something on the spot, and then submits it to the competition. And like I said, I love happy endings. So the next thing your story has to have is a resolution. This is a reward. Rose has dug deep, created this new project on the day of, submitted it, and despite the fact that it wasn't to her as good as what she created initially, it is the thing that won the competition, and she gets to win this amazing prize. So whenever you want to tell this story, you have to know what your theme is. And your theme is usually a question. I try to make it opposite. So do I have the ability to follow my passion, or do I just shy away? And that's the thing that Rose has been doing. Rose knows she has artistic capabilities, but she doesn't believe in herself, and then submitting this art project she's created for this competition is her way of saying, let me see if I have what it takes. But Bobby has stood in the way. However, Bobby standing in her way made her dig deep and create something in just a short space of time to not only submit in time, but end up winning the art competition. So your story is a way to communicate, is a way to, and when I know what my ending is, it makes life a little bit easier. So break it into 3 blocks, beginning, middle, end. In the beginning, you introduce the person, your protagonist, the hero. This is what they have to do. This is what their life is about. And try and introduce your antagonist. This is the obstacle that the protagonist is going to face. And then you tell the bulk of your story in the middle part. And then you give your hero a reward because they've learned a lesson you've wanted to teach them on the way. And that is just a short little map of how I tell a story and how I think you could tell a story following these little guidelines. But I also want to leave you with 10 questions that could help you create your story. So 10 questions you have to think of. The first one is, whose story is it? And in this one, we know it's Rosie's story. Rosie is a person that doesn't know if she has this artistic capability, and we need to know what they need, what they want. Remember, it's internal and external. They want to submit this thing to this competition, but what they really need is kind of that validation of the artistic capability. One is inside and one is outside. And then what is the inciting incident? The inciting incident is the teacher comes and says, oh, there's this competition, go create your art project, submit it, and then we'll send it out. What do they want? That's the external thing. They want to create something, and they don't want to submit it to this competition to win, or at least get some kind of recognition. What are the obstacles in the character's way? This is a really simple story. The obstacle is Bobby. Bobby's evil. Bobby rips Rosie's art project just as she's about to submit it. What is at stake? Well, if she doesn't submit this thing, she's not going to she won't be able to make it into competition, and she might not know if she has what it takes. Why should we care? Because Rose is just the sweetest. Rose does things with her friends. I try to put some of myself in most of my characters, and there are moments of doubt, like, can I do this? Do I have what it takes? Why do people even listen to me? And what do they learn in this process? We learn that digging deep, Rose has these abilities. It's just right there, but she has to put in the work. And then she submitted it in time. Not only did she submit in time a new project that she had to do on her own, she actually won. How and why? Well, after Bobby ripped up the work she did with her friends, she dug deep, spent some time that day, created a new project, submitted it, and she ended up winning. And how does it end? Usually, like I said, I try to know what the ending of my story is before I even write the story. So for me, it usually starts with, I know I have a character, or a friend told me something cool. I'm like, oh man, that sounds great. And then what happens? So once I have what that ending is, then I start telling the story, the beginning and the middle part to get there. The beginning is pretty easy because then I know who the person is. And those 10 questions will help you create your story. One more thing, you might be watching this and you're thinking, but I don't have a story. That is not true. You should not listen to that part of yourself, because you have a story. And a story doesn't have to be Avengers or, I don't know, Black Panther or whatever. It can be, today I woke up, I went to brush, and then I went to school, but there has to be an obstacle. So it's not just a documentary. On my way to the school, I missed the bus. Oh, wait, okay, that's cool. So you want to put obstacles in your hero's way towards them getting what they need. I always love sharing story with this quote from Maya Angelou. Each of us has at least one story. I say that we have way more than one story. So I want to say, I salute you, because I know there's a story you have to tell, and I hope with these guidelines you'll be able to tell it. So circling back, you just need 3 blocks. The beginning, where you introduce your characters, the world they live in. The middle, where you actually tell the entire story and you take this hero on this journey. And then the end, where they confront the antagonists. In my case, I try to make them win and get the reward and the resolution. That's it. I hope you got something here, and I can't wait to listen or read or sit down and watch the stories you create.